Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 2 of Tamer Talk, our official Wildhearts podcast. I am Dawn, the brand manager, and joined this week by Chase, our director of communication. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good. Had some crazy drama in my life. Last week was my daughter's preschool graduation, so we're super excited for that. Now it's summer break, yay! Uh, Crazy car dealership stuff. Like no one likes to deal with a car dealership, and yeah, it was just like super bad drama. But besides all that, I'm happy to be here. We did some fun Wild Hearts on Friday night, like we do every week. So I desperately needed that at the very end of the week. I needed some like just game time and chatting with the fans and stuff like that. So it was very much needed. How about you?
Yeah, I feel that. We had a holiday yesterday on Monday here in the United States, so it was a little bit of a longer weekend. My husband took some extra time off, so I got to spend some time with him and we got to do some stuff and kind of just relax and do some other things that weren't work related. So definitely needed that chill time myself as well. But now it's time to get back to work, get some stuff, and there's some exciting things on the horizon as well. So I'm excited to sit down and chat with you about some stuff.
Yeah, definitely going to be a good one, I think. So where do we want to start today, though? Because we have a bit of a list of things to go over and chat about.
Yeah. Well, let's start by talking about Wildhearts Academy. If you did catch our first episode, then you probably already heard about that, but we're going to dive into that a little bit more again here and talk about that because our Kickstarter is well underway. It is ending on Tuesday, June 3rd, so we're kind of getting to that wrap up point. We have a week from the point of our recording here to do that. Get your backing in before it ends and get that going because yeah, only just under a week left by the time that you all get this podcast. So uh Chase, what is Wild Hearts Academy and why should people be backing it?
Oh goodness. Okay, so Wild Hearts Academy is a it's an area majority board game with some deck building elements to it. So we're trying to control 3 different zones. There's 4 rounds, and at the end of every round, you're trying to get victory points from controlling these different fields that we have. But in addition to that, we also have some deck building elements to it. So, in the typical deck building fashion, you're trying to build a better and better deck, get victory points for cards that you put into your deck, as well as we play our cards to something super unique to our game, and it's called the plan. So, when you play out the different cards, you'll be pushing other previously played cards to the sides, and then when they come off of your plan, they have an additional effect. So you have a play effect as well as a leaving effect. So there's so many different elements of things you got to be mindful of and planning when the order that you play your cards, which direction you push your cards in, things like that. I'll actually go ahead and pull up a little demo for you guys here of just an example. Let me switch this over and boom. All right, so here I have the a little example of pushing the cards left and right for you guys. And so you have your play effect and then your leave effect. And you'll notice you play to this spot here that I'm pointing to, which is the second spot. If you go to the left, you can get off the board faster. But sometimes you'll have effects that might trigger more powerful effects if you go off the right, and vice versa. So there's just a lot of elements to it. So very fun game. Every playthrough is completely unique. We have our different tamers that you can play as here, and each one has their own unique ability with their familiar. So not only is each like the start of each game could be different depending on the tamer and familiar you choose, but also every playthrough your strategy will change. So what you want, how you want to go about it, what you find available to put in your deck, you got to be adaptable. So, and that's also what makes it more fun, is just how different every single game can be.
Yeah, and there's even different rules depending on how many players are playing or if you add in a like another student as a rival or kind of I don't want to say an AI, kind of component, but that kind of semi-autonomous player that you can add in to fill in a slot. If you are only playing a two-player game, there's also what we call dummy cubes that are going to be in those three fields that make it a little bit more challenging. So you can't just place one cube in the summit and get 7 victory points for a single cube. You're going to have to work a little bit harder than that in that two-player game, which Chase and I did a two-player game. So you can find the video for that and watch that game. That was a lot of fun, but it was definitely I think it added a little bit more of a challenge for me. I feel like when we did games with 3 or 4 players, it was kind of a little bit easier for me to figure out like what other people were doing and kind of figure out my strategy and how I wanted to play things. But with those dummy cubes, you really have to kind of do math on how many cubes you might supplant, which is replacing cubes, or how many cubes you need to get those out of the way. But in a 3 or 4 player game, sometimes there is that surprise element where somebody might have something up their sleeve a little bit and then be able to play something kind of right at the end and change the math on the cube. So there is that aspect as well. But yeah, I thought our two-player game was definitely interesting and definitely felt different than the 3 and 4 player games that we've done.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree there because, yeah, because when you have the dummy cubes, you're like, okay, it's like there's a third person, but there's not. So if I just like don't push and just let the air quotes dummy cube player win first, that's okay because no one's actually getting points for that. So it's not so bad. But also I like them because yeah, depending on the play style you're going for and the strategy, if you're doing a lot of supplanting, not having dummy cubes, very, very difficult to get those strategies going. So definitely needed in those two-player games, I would say.
Yeah. And in the Kickstarter, you mentioned different students and different kind of characters that you can play. There are some character packs that you can get in our Kickstarter that include a student with their 2 cards that go into your initial deck that you can add in there at the very beginning of the game and get to play with, and then rival decks that you add to. As I mentioned, you can use them in multiplayer games to add like an additional kind of semi-autonomous player, or you can even play them as a one-player game because Wildhearts Academy is a 1 to 4 person game, so you can add those in, and those character packs come with both the students and their 2 cards, plus the rival stuff as well. So it's kind of a combined pack to play either as that student or against them as well. So I think those are very interesting. There's some really cool ones. There's the 4 characters in the base game, and then the additional 4 character packs that we have as well, which we did do a 4 player game showing those 4 characters, those 4 students off as well. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm just pulling them up right here for you guys. So yeah, we got Jeremy and Flack here. We've got Garrus and Orn. Who else? Yuri and Win. Is that it? Was that 4 already? Oh no, I skipped over the first one. Abigail and Rufus here. Yeah, I've played against those. Out of the 4 new ones, I played against this one on the very first time. And yeah, these rivals they're a bit of a puzzle, right? The first time you play through them, if you haven't really read all of the cards that they have available in their deck, you just kind of, go at it willy-nilly like you'd play against anybody else. And that's not how they play, right? Their strategies and kind of their synergies and stuff that they like to do is very different. So you can't really just go in it like blindly playing like you would play against everyone else. Each rival, like you need to adopt a certain kind of, general strategy. I'm not saying you can't use any strategy, but just things to be aware of when you're playing against them, like don't do this or else you're going to give them a ton of victory points, things like that. And yeah, I should have read more of her cards that very first time I played against her because I fell right into that trap, and I was like, oh, I've just given her like half her victory points I could have avoided, but here we are.
Or you could be like me and just completely go in unaware the first time you try it and just say, "I'm just gonna see how this goes," and give it a try, and then maybe get your butt kicked, and then afterwards go, "Huh, okay, how can I do this differently to maybe win next time and not get my butt kicked by this rival character?"
Yep.
Yeah, it's as you said, it's kind of a puzzle, and I'm a kind of player that really likes to do that. So for me, I'm like, I'm just gonna jump in and dig in, and then figure it out as I go, what I messed up, and figure out what I can change in future games.
Oh yeah,
So maybe you are a kind of player like that, like me, and you want to do that. That's totally fine too. It's up to you how you do it.
for sure.
But there definitely is some strategy and some nuance to each of the characters that are going to be make it a little bit more challenging, let's say.
Yep. And the one and the when you're playing it one versus one against that rival, like that's a strategy in itself you got to be able to master. But when you're playing a multiplayer game, like a 3 person with a rival for 4 total, that's its own little element as well, because you sometimes you got to work together. Like, hey, we all got to kind of, under the table agree we shouldn't do this or we're all gonna lose, right? Um, yeah, it's just and then but at the same time it's like, well, this is still a versus game. We still have to beat each other. So it's
That's right.
it's a whole
Yeah.
different beast when you're playing a multiplayer game with a rival as well. So just it's such a cool
Yeah.
game. I love it's like we're still playing with the same rival, right? Or I'm still playing the same game, but like different amounts of players, different combinations, like each time is just so vastly different. So,
Yeah. It absolutely is. But bringing up the Kickstarter again, just want to give a huge thank you to everyone who has backed the Kickstarter campaign so far. We did get funded in the first 2 hours, which is amazing. But we always hope for more, and we're hoping for an end of campaign big push to get some more backers in there, get more of you enjoying this game, and get this game in your hands. And one thing that we really focus on here at the Wild Hearts team is that fast turnaround for production for the Kickstarter. So you're not looking at waiting a long time to get your product. We aim for, it's usually about, I would say, a month and a half. And we have already done campaigns and run this and gotten that product to people in that time. So definitely looking forward to repeating that with this Kickstarter campaign as well, and get Wild Hearts Academy into hands of players as fast as possible.
for sure. And yeah, one of the reasons we have such a great turnaround, right, is because we're made in the US. So we don't have to worry about that, the overseas back and forth of, discussing how we want to do everything. And because of, who we go through, we have to do a lot of like heavy lifting on our end to like prepare for printing and things like that, whereas other companies might not. But because of that, we're able to get that super fast turnaround made in the US. Like they can make it super fast and then get it to us, and then we can fulfill all the pledges immediately. So yeah, you don't have to worry about the overseas time and then waiting in port for it to unload and then get shipped to you and stuff like that. So I mean, we're cutting out a couple months like worth of time by doing it here. So yeah, definitely one of those great things. And always supporting a U.S. company is, when able, is nice. Like you can't do it all the time, but when
Yeah.
possible, it is nice.
Yeah, and at the same time, backing the campaign, you're supporting an indie company and indie developers as well. So, if that's something that's important to you, we definitely would appreciate the support. And we, again, want to thank all of the backers who have already supported. We hope you've been enjoying the updates that we've been putting out, and we will continue putting out up through the end of the campaign. And following the campaign as well, updates about the production, how things are going, what stages we're in terms of getting all of that equipment and the games and all of that to you, whatever it is that you ordered. So again, thank you all so much, and let's close out the Wild Hearts Academy Kickstarter with a bang and really jump up those numbers right at the end. That would be amazing to see. So if you have friends, family, creators, other people that you think would enjoy the game or would want to check it out, definitely share that campaign link with them as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's you could play it by yourself. You could buy it and then you just play with the rivals, right? If you've got, a small group of friends, like that works as well. It's definitely adaptable to fit your friend group, right? So you don't need to
Yeah.
worry about other people buying into it to play with
Hmm.
you or anything. You just buy your one box and then boom, everybody's good to go. So that's, yeah, really nice.
Yeah. And one thing that I really like about it personally that I know we talked about in, I believe it was the first update, was that it's like it's small, it's compact. There's not like a huge board setup that goes with it. You know, in kind of true like card game style, it doesn't take up a lot of space. Just the space kind of on the table. So it's perfect for, you know, maybe college students going off to college after the summer. It's perfect for travel. I know a lot of people like to travel and go places during the summer. If you're going to be, you know, spending some time in a hotel room, or I've seen people play games while they're sitting on the floor waiting for conventions to open and in huge lines and stuff. This would be a great one, whether, like Chase said, if you're playing by yourself or, you know, if it's a couple of you playing. The games don't last typically terribly long as you know what you're doing. So think the games can move pretty rapidly in that sense. So, you know, perfect for hotel rooms and conventions and things like that to take with you. So, definitely, that's one of my favorite things about Wild Hearts Academy too. Other than the actual gameplay itself, but the, you know, how it actually fits into the space, the physical space that it's taking up. It doesn't take up a lot of room. So, I'm
Yep.
thrilled about that. Any other closing thoughts about Wild Hearts Academy, Chase, before we move on to some other stuff that we've been up to?
So I mean, great game, right? But I will say, let me pull it up right quick again. The artwork, I love this artwork. It's just all so beautiful. It's so colorful. All the cards just pop, and like they pop from the background and everything like that. Yeah, just a couple of examples here from the Kickstarter page. Just like playing your hand out, moving cards off your board, things like that. The different effects of your tamers and things like that, what we were talking about in the beginning. We also we have videos, of course, of how to play, but we also have free ways to play it. So if you want to do a print and play, I know a lot of people aren't fans of that, but we at least like to offer it. We also have it free on Tabletopia. So as long as you had a PC, then you can come in here and play it on Tabletopia as well. We've got the rules right there in Tabletopia for you. So you don't need anything crazy. You don't need to download any rules or anything. It's all right there. You just need to make a free account, click the link here, and go try it out for yourself for free. So yeah, just a fantastic game. So much lore. Like we've got some of the lore here for you guys, but yeah, it's so vast. Like yeah, it's a very self-contained game, but at the same time, you know, there's just so much to it as well. So, yeah, so we got multiple different pledge levels with, you know, reduced price off of MSRP. So there's a reason to back it here right now is to get it, you know, reduced, as well as we've got some free promo stuff as well. So if you're a fan of our card game, which we might be talking about in just a second, if you back one of our tiers, every tier is guaranteed to get one of these sets of promos. I believe it's every tier, but every basic tier is going to get a set of these promos. So really cool, one of each, and yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
happy. And the promos are in the style of Wild Hearts Academy, so I like the crossover there. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are a player who enjoys the card game or is interested in the card game and wants to get those promos, you can also, without even backing the actual academy at a specific tier, you can go in and just back at like $1 and then add on those promos as an add-on, and then have those promos sent to you if you just want the card game stuff as well. So that's another option that we, you know, want to give players as well, is if you're kind of looking for something specific, even if it's just, hey, I actually really just like that mat, the kind of board mat, and I want to use that as a mouse pad. Back at $1 and just add that on and use that as a mouse pad, and you know, call it good. You don't even have to get the entire World Hearts Academy game. That's an option that's open to you as well. So giving options is definitely something that we try to do as much as possible as well. There's a lot of flexibility, a lot of options, even though it might look like there's only a handful of tiers. There definitely are options for you as well to kind of mix and match and pick very specific things that you want without having to back at that specific tier. So that's always an option.
Yeah, yeah, love sometimes a build a tier is just so convenient. So it's like I just want these certain things. I don't need all these things in this big bundle. I'm just gonna get these very specific things, and depending on the campaign, yeah, very very much appreciated. So
Yeah. Let's kind of rewind a little bit in terms of back to what we were doing. We talked a little bit about what we've been up to in kind of our personal lives a little bit, what's been going on. But how about in the kind of Wild Heart sphere? What have we been up to there? What's been going on with this podcast coming out every 2 weeks? There is a little bit of time where we're kind of working behind the scenes, doing a lot of stuff that you all might not get to see. So we thought that it might be nice to share some of that with you so that you can kind of get a feel for what it is that we're doing when we're not recording this podcast and what it is that we're working on. So, Chase, would you like to start?
gosh, where to begin? So I've been doing a lot of pushing on the social medias, right? Getting in all the different groups. It's like I want the individual people that are backing us to enjoy this, right? But I also want more people to enjoy this, as many people as possible. Nothing worse than like finding out about something late because you just didn't know about it. You never saw anything. We've run some ads and stuff like that on Facebook, but even still, sometimes people have ad blockers, things like that, but they might be in groups. So I like to go put our information out in groups. You're like, hey, just be aware, we have this. Hit all the different social medias. I know people have their favorites, so just trying to hit all those P's and Q's for everybody, so that way we can get the information out there. We do a ton on YouTube, right? We do our live streams there. We put out our content of making, our how-tos or our strategy guides or just general coverage, news, that sort of thing. We'll put all that on YouTube. I mean, this video, of course, itself is going to go out on YouTube. So I imagine people are aware of it that are watching this. But I just want everyone else to know that is watching it. We are doing our due diligence best we can. If you don't see us in a certain aspect of the internet, put it in the comments below and let us know. And I will get on that and I will make sure that we are in that sphere of just awesomeness. So yeah, I'm doing my best. I hope, we continue to grow and just as, a fan base, right? A Wild Hearts fan base for all of our different aspects, not only the Academy, but also the card game as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel you there, and I've been doing kind of more behind the scenes work myself. Whereas Chase, you're kind of more the reaching out to the wider public and the general people. I'm reaching out to very specific people in terms of reaching out to creators who might want to be an ambassador for Wild Hearts and do content about what we have going on. And part of that has also been working behind the scenes on building up and kind of starting from the ground up our ambassador program, which is a lot of work, but it's something that I've been working on, and I'm very excited to talk more about that. So if you don't mind, Chase, I'll start jumping into that.
Yes, please.
So our ambassador program, really what we want is we want ambassadors who want to share info and gameplay and product opening or like box openings, things like that. Any other Wild Hearts content that fits what they already do. Ideally, if they want to add in Wild Hearts because they like card games and they want to talk about the Wild Hearts card game, we want to provide a space and avenue for them to really do that and help provide more for them to be able to make their content easier, a little bit better, and have info that they might need. So some of those things is there's not really any certain requirements for how ambassadors need to produce content. We're not going to say you need to produce X amount of content in a certain amount of time or anything like that. But we just request that you do make some content for Wild Hearts, and we'll have you sign an NDA. Of course, that's usually part of any kind of creator program, ambassador program, anything where you're going to be getting info and inside info, inside scoops, and things like that. So that's really all we ask. But for those ambassadors that join, as you can see on, I think Chase has it pulled up here. We want to provide some images and graphic assets for ambassadors to use in their content. You know, some of the like logos and icons that you might see, all of the like sketches. If you want to use sketches to show things for the art, maybe like here's the sketch, here's what the full art is. You want to show those kind of things off. We want to provide all of those images and assets and things for you as well. And there's going to be sneak peeks for info on what's coming up in the world of Wildhearts. So these ambassadors that are part of the ambassador program will get info a little bit ahead of time to kind of start creating their content and make sure that they can actually kind of keep up, put that content out like as soon as possible. For example, even news and info in regards to stuff that we announce or reveal on this podcast every other week. Uh, the ambassadors will get that info ahead of time to be able to create their content. And then as soon as the podcast is live, they can actually put their content out, you know, right away and be able to kind of keep up with things, be able to announce that right away, and even link back to this show where it was announced or talk about it or use clips from this and things like that to be able to again get that info out as soon as possible for their audience. And you know, we want to help provide that info early so that creators also have time to do that, because sometimes creators and the ambassadors that'll be part of this program, they might work full-time jobs, they might have families, they might be in school, and you know, we want to give them some extra time to actually produce that content for their audiences, and that helps us in return as well. The more, you know, time that they have to produce some content, the more that they have to actually produce content, make it a little bit better, make it look nice, things like that, will encourage the ambassadors to do content. So we hope that that is an encouraging and exciting thing that ambassadors want in regards to creating content. And then we're also going to have things like creator card reveals for the card game, and special events that we're going to host for ambassadors. So I think back in December, Chase, you and I, before we actually became official staff members, you and I were part of a 4-player like battle royale free for all for the card game. Which was a ton of fun, but we all streamed that from our perspectives. And then it was recorded, I think. So, you know, that was a lot of fun. And we'll definitely look forward to doing more events and more special things like that in the future with our ambassadors. So definitely potential for things like that. So again, this is kind of just the base level, like the starting point of this ambassador program. We're really kind of kicking it off, as I said, from the ground up. So this is all just the initial kind of building blocks of the ambassador program, and over time, as more ambassadors get involved, it's going to build up and grow even more based on what ambassadors are looking for, what they want. You know, I have some big ideas and big goals that I can't quite share yet, but definitely looking forward to doing even more things for ambassadors and with ambassadors. So uh, there's a lot here. So if people have any questions or if you're interested, reach out on Discord, jump in our Discord and reach out to me, or you can email me directly at dawn.wildhearts@gmail.com. That's DAWN.wildhearts@gmail.com. And just let me know that you're interested. We do have a couple of ambassadors already. I will be kind of reaching out to them and being like, hey, you can go ahead and, you know, make it official, make your announcements, things like that. I don't want to make that announcement for them, because I know for me, when I've done creator programs and other things like that, it was always exciting for me to get to announce that I was part of something rather than somebody else announcing it for me. So we'll get those ambassadors ready to go in terms of making their announcements. And as I said, if you're interested, or maybe if you have ideas on somebody that you think would be a good fit, let me know. Reach out to me and say, hey, I'd love to see, you know, X creator or whoever creator. I can't say X as like a fill-in because X is a social platform. Uh, so you know what I mean. XYZ person. That's who I'd like to see. That's what we're really talking about here.
Gosh.
Um,
Yep.
but Chase, I'm kind of curious. Do you have any thoughts or things on this ambassador program as someone who's been a content creator yourself for a while?
Yeah. So, uh, because basically that's kind of what we were in the beginning, but there was no official title for it, right? We were basically in the ambassador program before it existed. Uh, and there's just so many different great things. Like the early info is amazing, right? I've as a former, I say former, but yeah, as a former content creator for other like games in general, getting news like day of, right? Or if it drops at like 5 a.m. and you wake up at, 8 or something like that, and you're just now seeing it. Now I got to make content. Oh crap! While the iron's hot. Oh man, like 3 other content creators already beat me out on making content. That means my video is less likely to get viewed. If I had known, right, early that was going to get dropped and everything like that, and I could have pre-made content and like pre-scheduled it to go live, that would have been such a relief, let me tell you. So yeah, that alone is amazing. Special creator events, right? So we actually played not only in the one or the 4 person free for all, right? But we actually played in a tournament. I believe was before that, and there was a prize. There was 2 prizes. Top 2 got a unique card, and again, I got this before I was actually a member of the team, so like I just won this early on. It's a special alt art of one of the fields, and there's only 2 in existence. So, like, you want to talk about some like high prestige stuff? I mean, we'll have, of course, other big events for the general public, but also like something really unique for the content creators in our ambassador program. I think is something that's really cool. The potential is just limitless for what we can do. And yeah, the card reveals both of us. We revealed cards early, getting that again, not only just getting early info, but then allowing you to make content early for those releases, for the releases that you yourself are getting to release. So there's just like, oh, I get a double whammy out of this. I get to reveal something early, like I can do it on social media, reveal this image, and then I can make content also to go with it. So it's like I'm hitting both ends. Yeah, the ambassador program is really nice, and just being like having a company like us that's just very forward about, hey, we're looking for people like this, instead of all the behind the scenes that companies sometimes do. And it's like, oh, I wish I'd known they were recruiting, content creators. I would have absolutely loved to have, thrown my name in the ring, in the hat, so to speak. So yeah, this is us. We're telling you, hey, throw your name in the hat.
Yeah, exactly. Or like I said, even recommend other people. If you have a favorite creator who you think might really enjoy indie games or enjoys card games or enjoys this kind of thing and would love to do content, we're starting that up. So definitely reach out, get them in touch or in touch with me, or get me in touch with them. Something just to get that ball rolling and get things going. But we appreciate everyone who is part of our community who has already done reveals, who has done things like that before, and we can't wait to really get this ambassador program going in a more official capacity.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to just more content creators, just more people to talk to, more people I can talk to about like stuff that hasn't been revealed, stuff like that. So, yeah, just growing our circle ever wider.
That's right. And I want to give a huge shout out as well to Dank's dad in our community. He was on our first episode of Tamer Talk, but he is kind of that volunteer staff. But he is also a big ambassador for the game and has been since the early days as well. So he's been doing a lot, and he is hosting a Wildhearts card game league. The first week of the league is kind of wrapping up as this podcast is coming out, but he has prizes, there's challenges, there's all sorts of stuff. You can play as many weekly games as you want. You can set up to play against some of us staff members, and all of the different like challenges, different things that he has set up also get you entries into the chance to win some of that physical product for the Wild Hearts card game. So it's very exciting, and thank you so much, Dankestead, for hosting that and putting that together, because it's really cool to see. And I've already got a little bit of participation in there, so look forward to seeing more.
Sorry about that. Absolutely. Yeah. I just really appreciate him like taking that on for himself. Like that's a lot to take on an entire league and support it like that. And yeah, the prizes is so cool. Like actual like legit good stuff there. Lots of the cards and packs and stuff from foundations. Stuff that we can't sell that. That was a limited time run. We cannot sell that product anymore. So someone in the community like has product like that, they're willing to give it away. Wow, like that's amazing.
Yeah, that's right. It's a good chance to get some products, play some games, learn the card game, and kind of dive in deeper before things really get going later this year. So yeah, just thank you so much, Dankest, for putting that together and hosting that. And yeah, if you're interested in playing in that league, checking out some games, wanting to play, again, you can reach out to me. I'm sure Chase would probably be up for some games as well. I don't want to speak for him, but we love these games. We love playing and teaching people how to play. So even if you're new, if you've played before, no matter what it is, this is a good chance to get some games in, try out some different things, play some games, play some Wild Hearts card game, and maybe win some cool product as well.
Yeah, and I think he's using Tabletopia, if I'm not mistaken, right? You don't need physical cards. You're
Yeah.
just
Yep.
yeah. So, and it's a chance to win physical products. So if you didn't actually get any, you missed the Foundations launch, and you want to get some, this is a good like early opportunity because until our next go around of releasing product again and again, what we're releasing next won't be the alt arts from Foundations. So if you want to get some of this, that's a great time, and everyone's going to be on an even footing. If you're using, if he, we, if the if using the Tabletopia mod, everyone has access to all the same cards. So, you can build whatever sort of deck you want, and you don't have to worry about being behind in owning certain cards or anything like that. So, it's a great jumping in point for sure.
Yeah. Well, speaking about jumping in, Chase, where can people jump in, join the conversation, and find more about Wild Hearts?
Okay, so yeah, at the bottom of our screen, but for those that are only listening in, we are, of course, on as many different socials as possible. You can find us on Facebook at World of Wild Hearts. We are on YouTube, also at World of Wild Hearts. We're on X at Wild Hearts TCG, and you can also join our Discord. You can use the group or the join of, this is a really obscure, but 2FASXW8S5U. Yeah, so there will be links for anyone watching back on YouTube, links for everything in the description below. And yeah, so it makes it a lot easier than trying to type all that in. But
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us for episode 2 of Tamer Talk, our official Wild Hearts podcast. And we look forward to sharing even more and sharing some big news with you in the coming weeks and coming episodes. So definitely stay tuned, share this with others, and we will see you in the next episode.
absolutely. And this will be our last episode or our last podcast episode until after the Kickstarter has ended. So just FYI, I believe we have about a week to go. Yeah, 7 days to go here. And yeah, we're in the home stretch. So definitely go check it out. We won't have any more Tamer Talks, but I'm sure we'll have some other content on YouTube and posting around that you can watch. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it.